All right, sports fans, it's Marshall Atkinson with Atkinson Consulting and my good buddy,
Alan Howe from Easy Way Systems.
and it's Friday, and guess what? It's another edition of Q&A with Alan and Marshall, and today we're having a unique thing. What are we doing, Alan?
Well, today is National Shirt Day for University, isn't it, Marshall?
Yeah, it's College Colors Day.
College Colors Day.
I'm sporting my garnet and gold Florida State. Go Noles. Go Noles, baby.
And as I put on a post on there, I am uneducated. I did not go to college, so please forgive me on that. But I grew up in Michigan, 15 miles from University of Michigan. So here we go. U of M.
Maize and blue.
Maize and blue. And so my youngest brother graduated from U of M. And I also have my brother just younger than me. There's four of us graduated from Michigan State. Go Sparty. Awesome. Go Sparty. So, yeah.
So let me tell you, the reason why I wanted to do something about this is because College Color Day is always the Friday before Labor Day, in case you didn't know that. And it's basically the only holiday our industry has.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you could argue Christmas and whatever, right?
Right.
But I'm telling you, College Colors Day is about what? It's about wearing your college colors. And what are they wearing? They're wearing a golf shirt. They're wearing a sweatshirt. They're wearing a hat. They're wearing all the stuff that we produce. Right. And I know not everybody does college stuff. I totally get that. And today, we're going to rope in high schools in our discussion. But I wanted to kind of highlight the need for us to celebrate this day, especially on your social media posts. What are you doing? College Colors Day. I haven't sent mine out yet. I'll be doing that here in a little bit. I wanted really to film this first and use that as the social media stuff that I'm going to celebrate today. But I think if you're a shop, if you're watching this, when I was running shops and doing stuff, I would make a big deal about it all week, and I would have people wear their shirts. And I don't care what school you went to, because I think they're all great. And we would take a big picture, and that goes up on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest and that kind of stuff. And we're celebrating that we're in this industry and we're doing stuff. And I think it's really important. So that's why I wanted to highlight it today. And we're going to have all of our topics today are all going to be about doing stuff for schools. And that's what we're going to be talking about.
And I think with the colors, it's actually going, it started with university, but it is like that on every day. I think the high schools are all doing it. They do it all the time on there, but it is really moved down. And when we're talking about decorating for schools, for universities, I think we have to include the high schools because of the way some of that is merged together. So.
Right. So I want to give just some background and why this matters. So forever ago, it seems like, I got started in this industry. I was a graduate student. I was always doing, when I went to Florida State, when I was doing stuff, I was in a fraternity. I always did the T-shirts because I was the art guy, right? But when I went back to school to get my master's degree in architecture, I started a company doing fraternity and sorority shirts. And I had to get stuff licensed, collegiate license company, Florida State. So I'm doing stuff for the fraternities or the sororities, have FSU on it. I had to get it approved. I had to run all that through there. I did very well doing that. And actually the company that printed my shirts for me this is how old I am. This new thing came out called the computer. and so I was no longer doing, I was still doing things by hand. They wanted to show me, hey, there's this thing called Photoshop and the precursor to Illustrator freehand. You should learn this. And so I went into this ad agency that had computers and the software. And over the Christmas break, taught myself to use the software. And then in January 3rd, 1993, I started doing stuff for this as the art director for this company, right? I'm not going to mention them, but but here's the thing. Before then, right? I was doing shirts for Florida State. And what was really fun was to be sitting in the stands as a fan. And I was telling you the story before we started. I could sit there and I could go because this company would pay me to do the designs. I made $1 a shirt as kind of a little royalty. It was easy math. And I would just sit there and go, thank you, dollar, 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 dollar. And it was so fun to be sitting there amongst all these fans, seeing all the work I did. That was forever ago, right? And I don't do that anymore. But my roots to this go way back with it. And it was such a fun thing. And it was really great to see because it's a visual track of your success just seeing stuff. And a lot of things have changed since then. And, things have gotten more complicated and whatever. But, the roots go back. And I think it's really important to kind of list that. And now we could do so much with online stores. I mean, if I was really doing this, man, I could totally dominate. Anyway, let's say hi to some people. And here's what I want you to do. I know you may or may not be repping your college today, but I want you to list either where you went to college, and if you didn't go to college, what college is your team? Alan, he's got Michigan Wolverine stuff on today, right? And so
Correct.
What is your college? Can you list that and tell us? And also we're going to get into some stuff. What is your fun story? Do you have one? Please share. That's what we want to get into. And we're going to have some topics, and we're going to be kind of talking about some things. We want to also know your struggles, your problems, what kind of stuff, and can we help you with that, right? So that's kind of what we want to do today. So let's say hey to some people. Cora's here from Centuria. Thanks, Cora. Sam's here. Morning. Dave Eggers here.
Sam, you cannot say your favorite college team is the Cleveland Browns. That is not allowed. Which we would do.
Right. Yost is here from Sweden. Yost, what's the story with Swedish colleges? Do they have crazy fans like they do here in America?
Soccer fans, I would imagine.
Dan says, hey.
Dan, I believe Mr. Solomon, did you go to Ferris State? Is that where it was in Michigan? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Alan says you look better in green and white.
Well, Sam, you came on later. I was telling Marshall and the other people, while I grew up very close to Ann Arbor and University of Michigan, my youngest brother graduated from there, but my brother, just younger than me, there's 4 of us, graduated from Michigan State. So unfortunately, I have no Sparty gear, though. Right.
Yeah. Brian says, good morning. He went to the Naval Academy. Thank you so much, Brian, for your service. Appreciate you. Love watching the Army-Navy game. I watch that every year, every single year. I don't care who wins. I love it. To me, that actually is the best football game every year. I love it. Whoops.
Hey. It wasn't me this time.
Oh, my God. I forgot to silence my phone. That's my brother calling.
Good.
I'll pick that later, Tim. Thanks.
He's watching. Was going to have a story about Florida State.
I've got a story about Florida State. And
I know you do.
I showed you earlier. He was standing right next to me.
Yeah.
Cora, University of Minnesota. Thanks. He says Facebook's not working. Facebook wasn't working live for my thing yesterday. Maybe
you know what? But Keith, we have a lot of people watching that are on Facebook. I can see.
Yeah. Maybe it's you. So, but he's watching from YouTube. So thank you.
Yeah. Way to go.
Dan says MSU, FSU, SVSU. Hey, see right there in the middle, Dan, that tells me you've got some taste. So thanks.
Yeah. No, I think FSU is Florida State or Ferris State University in Michigan.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, maybe you don't have
what it is, Dan.
Or it could be Fresno State.
No, I think you went to Ferris.
Sean says, hey, Alan and Marshall.
Hey, Sean.
Sean told me that every time he does that, that means he's waving. So we're going to wave.
Oh, okay, cool.
Dave says Northwestern alumni, but love Notre Dame. Is that because you're Catholic? What's up with that? And is Rudy your favorite movie? That's what we want to know with that.
Yeah.
Joe says, go Dogs. Right. Charles Juros. Hey, guys.
Charles?
He says it is for sure. Sam says, in the Bollinger House, we root for Michigan State, Ohio University, University of Cincinnati, and Ohio State. Lots of green and red. That's very good, right? Thanks for everyone for sharing. Hey, if you're actually doing commercial work for schools, that would be really cool to hear. We want to know those stories.
Stories that if you've had to mix ink or do anything, right. Schools would love to hear.
Carl says, let's go New Mexico State.
All right. What is New Mexico State's mascot?
I think they're the Aztecs, right?
The what? The Gila Monster?
I don't know. I can't remember. Isn't it
Roadrunner? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sure Charles will let us know. So
he will.
So anyway, college is always fun. And I went to Florida State. I actually went on an art scholarship. I have a degree in painting, watercolor, actually.
And you are amazing. I have seen some of your paints.
So thank you. And what's the commercial application of that? I don't know. But basically in college, I majored in drinking beer. If you really want to be truthful about it,
in bootleg shirts, t-shirts.
Yeah. So Sean says it is sand, right?
He's talking about New Mexico State. It's the Aggies.
Yeah, Aggies. There you go.
Got it.
All right. So let's get started with some topics here. And the first one is the fact that it is College Colors Day. And so you can look it up. I think it's collegecolorsday.com. And you can actually download logos. You can download some stuff that you can share. They actually have a contest where you win. You can win merch from Fanatics, who totally owns the whole market.
Yeah.
And so what's really great about this is they have a bunch of stuff for every single licensed CLC school with logos and things that you can do and share. And I think that's really fun. But they've got a calendar things that, so maybe right now this year is not good, but maybe August of next year, you can put it on your calendar to remind yourself to maybe you need to prep for some social media. Right. This is kind of your early warning, right? A year in advance. But what I wanted to really talk about, I think, is what we can be doing with getting college orders, bookstore orders, fraternity and sorority orders. These folks buy just a tremendous amount of stuff. And I know because they were my customers, right? Yeah. And so this is back in 1990, 1991. I averaged about $60,000, $70,000 every 3 months in sales. So what is that in today's dollars? It's a lot of money. I don't know what the conversion is, but it was a good chunk of change, and I was making tons of money, and that paid for my school, right? And this is just me working out of a graduate studio, not with any modern tools, just all by hand and stuff. And I think if I had online stores and Inksoft or Printavo merch or Shopify or whatever, I think I could actually just do a much better job of it. But the thing that you have to do is you have to be licensed by the school, right? Mm-hmm. And here's the thing is they really protect those licenses. So if you're not licensed by the school, you can find somebody that is, and then you can contract the work to them, right? Yeah. So don't think that you can't get into this market because you can't enter. Right. And they do a good job, I think, of protecting the people who are already making the money by kind of limiting what you can do. So it's really important that you get a good network of folks that can do that. Mm-hmm. And how it works. And there's a collegiate licensing company, or CLC, controls most of the major schools. Every school has a different licensing percentage that you have to pay. And I'm not really an expert on that, but I can tell you that they're all different. And some of them, if you're doing anything with the coach, right, they have if your coach's name or coach's signature or whatever, that coach has to approve it. Some of these approval processes take a minute to do it, right? And so you really need a good relationship with them. They have forms. They kind of make it easy. There's an online portal that you can get and that kind of thing. So it's really important that you do things correctly. And there's also for minor, like Division 2 or 3 schools, There's another organization that handles that, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it is. But you need to do it right, and all you got to really do is contact the school,
and they'll tell you.
And you can tell what to do. And then the other thing I'll tell you is that some really big high schools have licensing now.
A lot of high schools have started going to licensing.
Because you're making money on their name, on their logo, on the thing. So it's really important to do things correctly here. And here's the great thing, I think. If you design a funny or a really good selling shirt, if you do it for one school, it's really easy to spin it into other schools. Okay. So you do a really fun design, you do something about the pandemic or COVID or property of or whatever, right? And the good, the bad, the ugly, making fun of some popular culture meme or whatever. If you do it for one school, then you can do it for 20.
Absolutely.
Okay. And so it's real easy to build online stores for schools and then build a social media platform and then direct stuff to things. And especially if you're doing print on demand and some different things, it's not too hard to do that, right? The challenge is getting it all approved and getting it in the system and that kind of stuff. So, so let's talk about some stuff. Cora says she does Minnesota high school wrestling and basketball championships. There you go. That's really great. Yosta says,
I don't know. I think that's a picture he sent us. Yosta didn't come up.
I don't know if we can share pictures. So I think he's sharing stuff. Maybe we'll look at that later, but thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Sam says, I got a few stories on college Pantone problems, and we're going to get into that, Sam. Certain schools may recognize different Pantone colors, but when Pantone shifts colors, I've seen schools not realize or recognize that. Well, let me tell you, from doing Florida State stuff, right? I'm wearing, this is a Nike shirt, right? This is one of my tailgate shirts, and it's probably got some beer and nacho stains or something on it. I usually drip right here in the middle, right? So there's usually a little stain right here from the nacho cheese or the bratwurst grease, right? Something is usually stained right there.
Or a beer stain.
But let me tell you, I have a bunch of shirts that are all garnet, or this is called, I can't see myself on mirrored image here. That's called Vegas gold, right?
Sure.
And let me tell you, there's color shifts. Even Nike can't get it right. Okay. Right. And so this is a big challenge. And let me tell you, with Pantone colors, your Pantone book really should be replaced about once every 2 years. And a lot of times, the colors on the chips fade. And even if we're doing an exact Pantone match, it might not match the book. Right. And even when you send it in, and I think for a lot of schools, just getting it close is really what you need. And doing stuff for Florida State, I'll tell you, they're pretty lenient. If you're in the neighborhood, they'll probably approve it. But if you're they really wanted to go to a really deep Harvard kind of crimson, and then but they've kind of shifted to more of a purpley color, and the fans really went crazy about it because we like to have our color's called garnet. They really want that garnet color, which is kind of what this is. It's more of a reddish burgundy. And because they wanted, there was this big discussion. In fact, they brought in all the printers into a big meeting, and they wanted to kind of talk about doing this garnet that was more of a darker garnet, like Harvard, because they thought that looked more intellectual. Mm-hmm. I don't know what was up with that. I'm sure Nike just wanted to sell more crap, right. But anyway, so what I'm getting at is, if you're trying to match colors and do things, follow their guidelines, follow their lead, use their colors, do things correctly, label things the right way, and I think you'll be okay. But you got to be aware of printing or decoration color shifts. If you're printing a garnet, for example, over an underbase white, sometimes it makes it look pink, so use a gray, that kind of stuff. So
even the thickness of your garment, the weave of your garment will change. It will shift that color also.
It will. So just be aware. There's craftsmanship in what we do a lot, right? And so that's what we have to really kind of understand.
And when it comes to color, you got to think about how you're looking at it. What light are you looking at? If you're not sure, take it outside.
Well, you want a neutral color source, right?
Yep.
And what you want is, if you're using a light bulb, it's the daylight bulb, and it's 5,000 to 5,500 degree Kelvin, which is 5,000 or 5,500 K. That's what it's going to say in the light bulb package. So you can build your own neutral light source light box just with a cardboard box and a light unit with the neutral color. That's what you want, neutral color. And in a pinch, a lot of times your cell phone color sometimes is the right temperature. If you're under fluorescent lighting, which will shift it usually to yellow, a yellowish color. Yep. Sometimes it looks a little blue. It just depends on what color light bulb you're buying, but you want to use a neutral light tone. So it's really important that you're looking at that. So Alex, by the way, says, Alan, you've got the right colors on.
Thank you, boss. So Alex, you got to share with us, what college did you go to? You told me.
Didn't he?
Alex went to college.
Here?
Huh? Alex went to college, I thought. Where did he go to?
I don't know. Somebody, I thought he shared that. I'm sorry. Maybe he didn't.
No, it's first time on. So.
And then Sam says, also garments supplied by the university can create problems. You mean like if the university athletic department is supplying it? I know that all too well. Do they need to ink match the garment? Do they need their actual Pantone color? So let me tell you a story. So when I was working down in Florida, in Tallahassee at the shop, we did all of the shirts for the athletic department, which is a lot of shops do that. I know right here in Phoenix, I consult with a shop where they do everything for Arizona State. And it's a big issue because the school gets these shirts, gets these garments donated, and they're Nike or they're Under Armour or whatever. And these particular shirts from the athletic department were actually from Under Armour. And this back then, this is a long time ago, there were these stretchy shirts and nobody knew how to print on them, right? And I reached out to my print supplier, one of the best salespeople in the industry, Buddy Jolly with NASDAR out of Atlanta. He's my hero, right? He hooked me up with Carl Busey, and if you know Carl's
a rock star,
genius, right? And Carl educated me on the right ink, which was the performance white platform from Wilflex, right? So this is a underbase gray with performance white. And what really worked great was the fact that this underbase gray has charcoal in it, which prevented the dye migration. It was actually a really good platform to use. We added a little stretch to it for the Under Armour thing. And we're able to actually do this. And so our supply chain helped with that, correct this problem we were having on trying to print on these crazy shirts. And I used to have, I had some laundry issues and the shirts got kind of mangled, but I used to actually have the shirts that the players would wear. I had some that this guy gave me, and that was really cool to wear, So anyway, and then they switched to Nike, and so it was all Nike stuff after that. But it was really kind of a cool thing to be doing stuff for the school, but you had to do it right. And you even doing stuff for the school, it had to be approved by collegiate licensing, because let me tell you, that professor or that head of the dean of that school or whatever, they don't even know their own school's rules.
Exactly.
Right? So is it a circle R? Is it a TM? What is the color? What is the verbiage? What is the appropriate mark to use? They don't know the rules. And you have to know that if you're doing anything for the schools, because you have to send it in, otherwise it won't be approved, right? And you get a waiver for the percentage, by the way, for the licensing if it's for the school. Right. Alex says he went to Illinois State.
So Alex is from Michigan originally, but I think he was in junior high or just before that when they moved to Illinois. So Alex actually, well, I'm 20 years older than him. If he would have stayed in Michigan, would have went to the same junior high and high school I went to 20 years ago.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, he moved to Illinois.
Yeah. So Ryan asked, do we need to be licensed for printing for the actual college, or does licensing just apply for printing it for public?
Well, I think you just answered that, Mark.
See my previous answer, right?
Yeah.
So I would ask the school, right? I don't know what school you're talking to. When I did stuff for FSU, we had to do everything, right? And I know here in Arizona, we do stuff for Arizona State. My client has to get to school to approve it. So it's a CLC, collegiate licensing
right
thing. So
I've also found, Marshall, too, and you're the art director, so on a lot of these colors for schools, there seems to be a dominant color that they are very, very picky on. I know U of M, their Pantone blue their colors are called Maize and Blue. Their blue is 282. That's not a difficult one. You can get pretty close to that anywhere. That maize one is the one they want a lot.
Right. Well, also maize, right, depending on underbase and the color of the garment, could have a color shift, right? So that's why you need to be really kind of picky about that. Absolutely. And maybe if you're having issues, you might want to have a little thicker stencil, right? So you have a little more opacity, or use a softer squeegee when you're printing that.
Yep.
So it's more opaque, right? So
now I asked my friends at Caesar earlier about HTV in schools and how do they handle that. And man, Breck McNally from Caesar, great guy. Joe Piazza from Caesar, awesome people. So I just didn't know how they handled that. And they said that a lot of times, because there's always color chips now, a lot of their colors are made where they're close to a lot of them. It's just almost close as on there. Their sun yellows, their burgundies, and things like that.
Right.
Matched a lot of it.
Right.
But I was not aware of that with these heat transfer vinyl manufacturers. You can they actually make a Pantone color, a special match, and it's only about 1,000 yards on there. They said that happens quite a bit in areas.
Mm-hmm.
People were, and I thought that was incredible. I had no idea that was even going on.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody's done that or if that helps anybody.
Right.
I think that's great.
Sure. Awesome. And Ryan says McKendree University in Illinois. Well, I don't even know where that is. So
no idea.
You would really need to talk to them, Ryan, and find out what they require and follow their rules. And then if you've got a department head or professor or something, and let's say they need approval, they need to get it, whatever their steps are, and that department head or that professor isn't following the rules, I would make a little PDF. I would brand it with your logo and co-brand it with the school and say, here are the guidelines. This is what we're doing. We're following the rules. Here are the steps. And also when we're doing anything with these schools, whether it's college or high school or what, right? We need sometimes some extra days in there because it's not so much we're designing it and you're going to approve it, but now we have to get licensing to approve it. And that takes a minute, right? Because especially when the beginning of the season, when they have 8 million things to go through and approve, right? So that's why we need to start way early. So when I was doing stuff for fall football season, those designs were created back in June and July, right? So we're not waiting until the last week in August to submit, right? Because you're never going to get it through the pipe, right? Just saying. And then Charles says you typically need an internal supplier license, which you can get through CLC, and he's exactly right. Ron, hey, it's a good day, Ron.
It's Ron a great says, day.
I printed pictures for Harvard. Months later, I got a bill for a licensing fee.
Whoopsie.
Right. Well, there you go. And great. That. So were you not licensed, Ron? What happened with that? And then are you still licensed? Do you still do stuff for Harvard? Right. That's how you have to pronounce it.
Well, it's interesting that, it sounds like he was contracted. Hey, can you print these? Yes. And then Harvard said, thank you very much. Send him the bill for the licensing fee too.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, maybe that's what he meant. And so did you pass that fee along to your customer? Hey, by the way, you owe me $30. I mean, how'd that work out?
Yeah.
So,
if you didn't have that built into your cost, that would be a little bit of a shocker. It was for them. They still wanted the license fee.
Right. Okay.
Interesting.
So let's talk about problems with school orders. This is college. This is high school. I think we have a lot of issues here depending, and I want to track this back to who's placing the order. Is this a college bookstore? Is this a website? Is this a PTO mom? Is this the athletic director? Is this the professor? So the problems are going to really originate where that order starts, and do they understand the rules and then what we need to be doing, right? And do they understand the timeline? Are they is it last minute? And then what are we doing here, right? And so a lot of the problems with this, I think, happens from that person not understanding what they have to do. And typically what we see also is a lot of turnover, right? And because the PTO mom or the bookstore person, the coordinator, is just a college intern, or the professor that's in charge of the thing or whatever, last year it was this guy, next year it's this woman, whatever, right? A lot of times we don't have the knowledge carries over, right? So I think it's incumbent upon us as the person who's always there to make it easy for people by explaining stuff. So an explainer video, a PDF, a website, a thing that shows, hey, these are the steps. This is what you got to do. Let me walk you through it. And let's just be patient with people. It's up to us as the industry to educate our customer about what the right steps are, even though it's the university that's causing sometimes these headaches, right? And then we also need to work with the university. And if they see that you're trying to do the right thing, that's what they like. What they don't like is the guy walking around with a hefty bag full of shirts trying to sell them for $15 at the tailgates, right? Even though I know that's how a lot of shops get started.
Yeah.
Right. So,
well, and
I'm not condoning that, by the way. Just
it's out there. Fact of the matter. I think nowadays too, it is easier and they're more strict on their licensing than I know 80s and 90s. It was harder because there was a lot of films, there was a lot of things like that, and now they are all over it like quick.
Yeah, well, it was a Wild West back when I was doing it. Right?
Yeah.
So Ruben says food service for schools are fully operating, not much athletics or PTO moms. Okay. I think it really depends on where you live, because I know that some schools, they've got full sports, they're going crazy, right? Well, and so like my kids' school, they're playing football, they're doing everything right now. So it just depends on where you live and what they're doing. And they have a school store, and the kids, actually it's a charter school. They're required to wear a certain shirt. It's a golf shirt, and on Fridays they get to wear a t-shirt, but you got to buy it through the school, and there's a company that does all that, right? So don't get me started with that, right? As somebody in this industry, I look at that, I'm like, I wouldn't have done it that way. But I'm not commenting on them.
Yeah.
So
here in Michigan, school sports were shut down until yesterday. Our governor has decided, yes, and I guess there's some restrictions and stuff on it. So a lot of I've already been talking to clients, and they are now scrambling.
Right.
Because that business that they have kept afloat, they've pivoted. There's that word. They pivoted and, moved. But they've done it well because they have said, you know what, we're doing okay. If school sports come back now, man, icing. Well, now the icing's starting, and they're kind of excited, but they're jamming now.
Right.
So
the some of my coaching clients do a lot of stuff with schools, and they were at zero. Then all of a sudden everything came back, and now they're flooded with orders and they can't keep up. Right. So, so it's really, what are you doing and what are you seeing and what your area is. And the other thing I can tell you is that, let's just say they're going to do fall sports in the spring, because I hear that. Right. So guess what we should be doing? We should be doing shirts for the teams while they work out for the spring.
Absolutely.
So season postponed or whatever, and you can do a fun shirt about that while they're training for the spring or whatever. And because there's a reason why we can get involved here. We just have to be creative about what we're doing and what we're offering and how we're going about that. And I know for college stuff, the ACC, which is where FSU plays, we're playing. Our first game is the 12th. It's a week from tomorrow, right? But if you're Big Ten, no dice, right? So I think this college football season is going to be really weird.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm a fan. I'm not in charge. So the SEC's playing, the ACC's playing, Big 12, Big 10, some other schools aren't. I just think it's going to be a really weird year. And all I can do is hope I can watch my team's games here in Arizona. So,
I think all sports, it's a weird year. And it's on the news, in baseball, Miguel Cabrera hit his 2000s hit with the Detroit Tigers. He only needs like 150 to hit 3,000 hits, which is a huge milestone. Right. But they show him.
That's almost as much as I have.
Exactly. Yeah. So he comes out. They were laughing because he comes out and does the tip of the hat to the announcers, but nobody in the stands. And I just
right. Well, it's a tradition.
It's a photo op, too, because this was a big deal for Detroit.
Did you see that a home run that hit the teddy bear in the outfield? Did you see that video?
No, I didn't see that one.
I forget what team it was, but they put like cardboard things, but there was a teddy bear out there, and the ball just creamed the teddy bear, right? And here you go. Sam says, sorry, wrong one. Big Ten is voting today to potentially, I guess that start in October, right?
Yeah.
And that was the correction thing. So you got the fat fingers today, Sam. We forgive you. It's okay.
Yeah.
I can barely type. So, actually I type well, but sometimes it just doesn't work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally understand. All right. So other problems, right? So other problems are going to be about delivery times. And right now we have a big issue with being able to get inventory. So if your school color, let's say it's Tennessee orange or, burgundy for Florida State or whatever, that distributor might have black, white, gray, whatever. They might not have that color.
Right.
Right. So trying to keep to your colorway might be an issue. So if you're going to be doing colors and it's an issue, maybe you just go ahead and bite the bullet and order a lot more inventory you think you need because your distributor has it. They might be selling out because you're going to be doing stuff all season. And I do know from doing sports stuff for a long time, when your team starts off, everybody starts optimistic about how great we're going to do this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then the season starts and it goes into the tank. And then what happens is fans stop buying stuff.
Yeah.
So that's always a problem. And so a lot of economic fortunes are dying by the win-loss record.
Absolutely.
And I know that for a fact. So,
and that's the typical, especially during championships when people are doing hot market, they're ordering a bunch of ink now. And when I worked for an ink supplier,
I love hot market.
We'd get people going, now look, I'm going to need this amount of this color. Now, if I don't use it, can I return it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well,
it's a special
restocking fee sometimes if it's a special color, no. But if it's, metallic gold.
This is when I lived in Pittsburgh. So luckily their colors and their golds were pretty dang close to most of the manufacturers.
I'll tell you what's great about Pittsburgh is all their teams use the same color. What kind of genius level thing is that, right?
That was incredible.
You don't see that much. What other chime in, like if you live somewhere and all of the pro teams were all the same colors, because that's just genius.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, in Michigan, it's not. I mean, we got the Detroit Tigers are, the Old English D and white and some of orange.
You just explain the Browns fans to it.
When I lived in Ohio working manufacturers, man, what jacked up colors, because the Browns are all just that brown color and that special match orange. And when the Browns were winning,
it's orange and dog poo brown, right? That's the color.
It is. And when the Browns were winning, I remember it got to the point when the Browns were winning that people didn't care. It's like any orange will do.
What were they winning?
This is in the 90s. Remember, I'm old.
I don't remember them winning. What was that?
Was it the 80s or 90s when they came close? The fumble at the line and all that.
I don't know.
Way back then, Ernest Biner, that whole deal.
I know. I'm opening up a can of worms here, but I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, so go ahead and kill me now, right? But
I just lived in Ohio, so I didn't care. But yeah. Hey, we have the Detroit Lions. We have great colors. That Honolulu blue is awesome, but we cannot win a game.
Wait, hold on. So the Detroit Lions blue is Honolulu blue? That doesn't make any sense, Alan. No wonder you can't win.
Oh, hey, I didn't come up with it. It's just been there. It's called Honolulu blue. So, hey, let's talk about the shirt. So this shirt I'm wearing, I got to say this. This hoodie I'm wearing is huge. It is like, Marshall thinks it's a 16 ounce. I think it's a 20 ounce hoodie. But this thing I have a little bit. I turned the air conditioning way up here because it's my favorite Michigan shirt. I only have a couple of them. But this talks about garment decorating and what quality is. This thing has been since like the early 90s. If you look on the sleeve, some of the old timers will remember, if I can find it now, where does it say? Shoot, on the sleeve where it says.
On the sleeve, it's by the cup. You showed it to me.
Yeah, Lee. It's Lee Sports. They're not around anymore. But this is all embroidered on the inside. The backing is gone. It's patches. And we're talking a quality item. And Marshall and I were talking. We think this was actually back when garments were made in the U.S. too. Yeah. But to me, this is a testament of what good quality manufacturing does, man. These things last forever. And Michigan got a ton of exposure out on this one over the years.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's pictures I have of me, like it has to be like 96 where I'm wearing it. So still have it.
I have a bunch of pictures of me wearing all my shirts too. And strangely enough, I always have a beer in my hand. I don't know why. Charles says New Mexico State is crimson, University of New Mexico is red, and you better not have a shirt shade that leans toward the other. I totally get you, Charles.
Yeah.
Totally get you. And by the way, anything that's blue and orange, because that's Florida Gator color, like it's just an aversion, right? I can't stand that, right? And so anything that's orange to me is like, I'm not wearing that. It's orange. What do you think? Why? So it's like it's repulsive. It's or and we like to tease those Florida fans. They wear jorts. You know what those are? The cut off jeans.
Yeah,
they're jorts. So anyway, let's get another thing. It's like anything is about communication. So the reason I want to put this on here. So if you're doing stuff for schools, if you're doing stuff, college, high school, whatever, how you communicate, how you do anything is how you do everything, right? So if it's what are you setting yourself up for, right? It's how you communicate, how you what you're doing, how you make things easy, not just for your end customer, but with getting the thing licensed or getting the delivery happen, or you're doing stuff for the high school, right? Are you making it easy for them to like you? Right? Are you just shipping them a box of shirts for them to distribute? Or does every single shirt is in a box with a packing slip on it? And in the packing slip is what kids' shirts are in the box. And every single shirt is individually polybagged with the kid's name on it. Right? So what level are you communicating here? And that's going to make you a better supplier, a better success for what you're doing. And the more you do that kind of stuff, the more that your competition just doesn't even think at that level, right? You're making it so nobody can compete with you because you're such a badass, right? So,
and especially, I think, man, you can start getting into, like you said, these college bookstores where it is a college intern. They don't know what happened before them.
Yeah.
Especially in high school and athletic boosters where it's a mom or a dad, and anything you can do to make it easier for them and let them look like they have everything under control and organized, because they're not, man, you are going to win right there.
Yeah, right. So Sam wants to know, can you plug a sweet and up-and-coming college printer? I would say yes, Sam. Are they on our broadcast here?
And if
they're not,
why
let's
have you not
get them
invited them?
going.
Who are they, Sam?
You can plug them. And then Dave says, I still wear a Northwestern Rose Bowl sweatshirt from the 90-95 Rose Bowl, and the print looks awesome.
Yep.
Hey, is that because you printed it? So,
you know, I love it when people say, well, you know what? I want this type of decorating because the other stuff doesn't last. And I always just tell people, I said, quality, whether it's print, or embroidery, or whatever, should all last the life of the garment.
Sure. Let me tell you.
Right there.
I have a whole bunch of DTG printed shirts that I've washed probably 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
And the print looks fantastic. And it's because they were printed and cured properly.
Absolutely.
And so you can say that DT doesn't last. And I'm telling you, that's entirely wrong.
Yeah.
It just depends on what the platform is. How did you cure it? You know, a whole bunch of stuff. And that's a whole different topic.
Yep.
By the way, I'm a big fan of a heat tunnel, not a hot heat press to cure DTG. So
I agree.
Don't get me started on it. So, Sam says I tried to get him on. All right.
Well, still haven't said who it is, Sam.
Well, yeah, try harder, dude. You can list their name. We're happy to hear it.
Because I'm writing it down, Sam. They better be buying Easy Way.
Right. So
I'm on it, boss. Because I know.
Lastly, here, favorite school story. What is working? What is working for you, right? And so one of the things I know that a lot of people do if they sell to the Greeks, you know, is to get the college kids to sell for you, because especially somebody, you know, male, female, whatever, that's super popular, that knows all these people, you can clean up on campus, right? And if you get somebody that's kind of an introvert, you know, you're not going to really sell well. You get somebody that's really popular in one sorority or fraternity, right? You're going to own the campus in no time short, right? So an easy way to find that is really, you know, look at their Facebook or Instagram or whatever they have. You know, do they have a gazillion friends? Are they all from different groups, right? Or is it all just from one group, right? It's an easy way to kind of do your research on them, find out what they do. Are they, you know, in the Greek leadership, you know, IFC? Do they belong to that? What do they do? Are they connected with people? Are they in any other student university organizations? There's plenty of them. You know, that's how these kids meet all these people. And that's how you can drive a lot of revenue to your company by hiring the right salesperson that's super connected, because old farts like us don't know these people. Right.
Yeah,
we don't relate to them. We don't know what their problems are. We don't know how to handle them. Right. So get somebody on your team that knows these people, and then get those sales. Make it easy for them to succeed by providing them with the guidelines and the sales tools and everything they need to be a success. And you could totally dominate that market.
And I think, man, be creative, especially now we're in a COVID time. You know, the schools are still being very creative on what they do. Yes, while sports are coming back, there's some different things that are going to happen. And even in the corporate stuff, I'm seeing, okay, another plug. So, you know, I thought there were, the water bottle I'm using is, I was in Chicago, and a company called Sharp Prints. You know them.
George Killian.
Great people, good company. And they have these water bottles for themselves, for their employees. They gave me one because while I'm there, you want something to drink. It's in a screen room. You know, it's hot there. But these are there. Write your name on it. Now, I brushed it and smudged it, but I thought that was genius. They have boxes of these around. You know, that was genius. So their employees don't have to be sharing, you know, bottles, going to the fountain, whatever on there.
Right.
Just for that. And I'm going, wow. That is great. And this thing, I threw it in the washing machine, dishwasher, machine washable. Didn't hurt it at all. So I thought it was great with the straw. So I thought that was genius.
So let me tell you, I have a Tom Brady story. Do you want to hear it?
Go ahead.
So way back when, you know, I knew this coach who did a lot of stuff. His name was Tom Shaw. He actually helped players get ready for the NFL Combine. Right. And he has a camp. He actually has it down at Walt Disney World at the training facility there. And so anyway, Tom Brady's coming out of Michigan. He's going into the NFL, and he was working with Tom Brady. And I said, hey, Tom, can you, because he did a lot of work with the Patriots. And so it's like, hey, can you get, and I knew a guy that was a big Patriots fan. And I go, hey, can you get a football for me with Tom Brady's autograph? So I got this Tom Brady autograph football, right? And it's in metallic gold, autograph ink, like you see.
Yeah.
So I gave it to this guy, right? I'm not going to tell. I don't want to embarrass him, so I won't tell who it is. And he goes, oh, that's so cool. Is this real?
Smudged it. Yeah.
I'm like, you idiot. How much effort it took me to get that?
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's your water bottle reminded me of that story, right? And not to mention you're wearing a Michigan shirt, so it kind of all dovetails.
It all dovetails in there, yeah. And it's funny 'cause I wrote my name on there, and I'm going, "Wow, that's kind of cool." And I smudged it. I'm like, "Oh gosh, idiot."
Yeah, right. So we got some more comments to get to them. Home Field Apparel, Indy, they specialize in vintage college logos. Started with mag schools, and now have over 75 schools. That's awesome, Sam. Thanks. Brian says ink soft stores for schools. I know a lot of people are super. That's like right. They're super successful using Inksoft, and they make it really easy for that. So good job with that, Brian. Next topic tip: tunnel versus heat press. Thanks.
Great. Hey, and we forgot one way up there. Gusta did put what that picture was.
Where is it?
It's farther up. That was Uppsala American football team.
Oh, there you go. Great.
That is cool. I didn't want to miss that, man.
Okay, we'll have to look at that picture later.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So.
Right, and then Sam says, here's the address. Alex Moser, they've got Illinois State too, so you should hook them up. Ray says, find a frat member that is involved with SGIA, Student Government Association. Exactly.
Not
Thanks,
SGA,
Ray.
SGA.
Thanks for commenting. Alex says, nice. Was the football deflated? No, it was fully inflated.
Oh, that was rough.
Yeah. So anyway, I've got a lot of stories like that. Everybody's got stories. So what are you doing?
I noticed my battery's going down on my computer. Why is it not?
All right. Well, you better plug it in before you just disappear. I don't think I can carry the show by myself, Alan.
It is plugged in, so that'll be interesting. Let's see what's going on there.
All right. So anyway, favorite school story. Can I show mine?
Yes,
Alan, with the video. It's my favorite school story.
Yep, do it.
Okay, so I want to set this up, right? So this is actually my favorite play of all time in college football. I know this is about apparel, but I want to show this just because I'm such a Goober fan. So bear with me here. So way back when FSU played Clemson, and we had this quarterback, his name was Chris Winkie. He went on to win the Heisman Trophy. And this is Coach Bobby Bowden, who was the ultimate riverboat gambler thing. And I'm going to show this video. This is my favorite play of all time. And what you're going to see is we're back on our goal line, right? Coming out of the goal line. And this is such a ballsy play. And what you're going to see is it's a fake handoff. And the reason I'm describing this is because it goes so fast. I don't want you to miss it. It's a fake handoff. And Winkie actually turns his whole back to the defenders. So he just kind of walks off nonchalantly.
Yep.
And I don't think you can see it in the play, but the whole college game day crew was right there. And I thought Lee Corso was going to lose his mind because I watched him. And Winkie turns around and chucks the ball to Snoop Menace, who's wide open on the 40-yard line. He runs for a touchdown. And this was the loudest. And I've been in a lot of football stadiums. I've been everywhere. I've been to LSU. I've been to all kinds of places. This is the loudest game I've ever been. Was this one play, because every single person in the stadium was yelling exactly at the same time. We collectively lost our minds. I probably pooped my pants. I'm not quite sure. I had some alcohol in me. I'll admit it. Right. So let me show this real quick Here you go. This is college football at its best right here.
What year?
Here we go. 2012.
Okay. Unreal.
Here we go. Touchdown.
That was the most nonchalant fake handoff in the world. It was great.
That's the best fake play ever.
Ever.
Okay. And Bowden always did that. Remember the punt Ruski, all that stuff?
Yeah.
He always did stuff like that. And I miss him dearly. But anyway, we're probably not going to do anything like that this year. I hope we win some games. So, as a fan and as somebody in this industry, I know how much the merch sales are tied to the success of the team. We were selling some shirts there, Yeah. So that was really cool to see. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to throw that out there just because I'm such a Homer fan.
Right.
And I have control of the buttons. So I'm sorry I put
you get to do that. So I think on a wrap up, man, we haven't heard some horror stories. So Sam Bollinger's on here. We were talking about this earlier on colors, not to switch and things off, but he's the one that told me about, it was Purdue University, I believe, that their color is a beige.
Right.
Said, man, they had about 5 different shaded variations that they knew it would happen and they just would approve. Right. He said they didn't realize it or didn't even know,
right?
But that they would approve. And that's interesting. I don't know if anybody else has anything like
Boilermakers.
The Boilermakers, definitely.
Yeah. Have you ever had a Boilermaker, Alan?
No, because remember, I don't drink beer.
Oh, that's right. So Boilermaker, you take the whiskey and drop it into the beer and chug the whole thing, right? And I will admit I've had some of those.
The closest thing I've had is I was at a show and a certain distributor group got me. We did a couple car bombs and
Irish car bomb.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. So
and that is, what is that? That's whiskey and Jaeger. What is that? I can't remember.
It's not Guinness. You drop it, the Jaeger in.
Right. I knew it was Jaeger. Yeah. Jaeger and Marshall Atkinson don't mix.
Yeah, and it was not too bad. So
right. Yeah, I can do tequila. I had a bad tequila experience. We'll just leave it at that. Back in here, this is really going to date me. FSU played the Pitt, right? Mm-hmm. You know who the quarterback was for the Pitt game that I'm going to talk about?
Pennsylvania, no.
Dan Marino. That's how old I am. I went to that game.
That's wild.
I had too much tequila, right? And it wasn't pretty. So we'll just leave it at that.
Right.
It rained so much you couldn't see the field at Doak Campbell Stadium at FSU. I had actually had some shirt designs I was trying to sell back then, and not pretty. So
my only college football story that I have, it's not even mine, is my cousin was the kicker for Georgia Tech when they were co-champions on there.
Oh, great.
Scott Sisson, I think, what was that, 84? 80?
Yeah, that's back when they were still running the triple option.
I think, yeah. So Scott Sisson, he actually went on to play professional. He kicked professional for the Patriots. This is back before they were good.
Hey, here you go. Let's piss Sam off. Before the Browns got rid of Belichick and he moved to the Patriots.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was. And then
what could you have been?
Well, who was it before that? Wasn't it Schottenheimer? Wasn't he the Browns coach?
I don't know. There's a great 30 for 30 on that.
Yeah. So yeah. Meanwhile, though, the consistent is during those times, Detroit still lost. The Lions always lost.
Oh, you know what? Back when the Browns were good, I think it was because you had Bernie Kosar.
No, that wasn't it.
Wasn't that like the best quarterback you've ever had?
That
the most winningest Browns quarterback was Bernie Kosar.
Yeah, they had Kosar then, and then after that is
Vinny Testaverde.
Testaverde, yeah,
from the University of Miami.
Yes. So
who here's the thing: it's a Florida State fan. The Gators. We love to give them crap kind of thing, but. Right. we hate Miami to the bone. So don't get me started on Miami. Right.
I love Sam's post right there.
Browns and Lions are the dream Super Bowl.
You know what? That would be an ink manufacturer's dream because Honolulu blue has to be special mixed. All that brown and orange color, that orange has to be special matched. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Richard says my plant just arrived. Thank you. I sent Richard a house plant.
Did you? Okay.
So, all right. So 0-16 club. Bernie's the man. Brian Sipe was the MVP before Bernie.
Brian Sipe, the Cardiac Kids.
Right. So, all right. So football season's around the corner. I've been enjoying the Hard Knocks with the LA teams. Very interesting what's going on with the COVID bubble they're trying to do and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, as a football is my sport. I don't like my son's is in the NBA. He's loving it right now because it's just back to back games all day. Right. And but to me, it's football. Right. And actually, it was funny. We were watching an NBA playoff game there. And it was like 2 minutes left, and I'm like nodding off on the couch. He's like, "The game's almost tied. How are you falling asleep on the couch?" I'm like, "It's because I don't care, Jack. I don't, whatever."
I was watching a little bit of one of the NBA playoff games.
Right. Got me a Pantone color reader capture just to come in close for the print.
Oh, very good.
Good job. And where is that thing? I had is it the Gizmo thing or is it the card deal that I was talking about the other day? Have you seen this, Alan?
No, I have not. What is that?
So this is an app. This is go to Pantone. It's $12. I ordered it just to see if it works. There's a QR code on the back, right? And what you do is through the window, right? You here's something a different color. You scan that with your phone. It's a phone app, and it tells you what the Pantone color is. Okay. And I can tell you from playing around with this that you need perfect lighting. If your lighting is subpar, it's not the Pantone color you think it is, right?
Right.
If you've got some good lighting, I think it could work, right? So, and you got to play around with it because the phone, it wants you to do it at an angle, and it's just you got to play around with it. And I ordered it just to see because I thought I can teach myself something for $12. So I'm sure the capture thing I think is probably the real Gizmo deal, right?
Yeah. Is that what this goes to let us know?
Right. And then Sam says football and printing, hard to beat it. Thanks, gentlemen. Great show. Enjoy the long holiday weekend.
Absolutely.
Right. It's the Gizmo thing. Thanks.
No, thank you. I love it.
So the Labor Day, right? So let's wind up. We're a little over right now. So you got big plans? You fishing? What are you doing?
I actually, you asked me last weekend, so I've been on a little fishing. I think we talked about how I suck at fishing anymore. I caught that big lake trout on Lake Michigan. I did well. But
you got to stand on 1 foot and hold your tongue a certain way.
Yeah. So I actually went out Sunday to a pond, and it was the old Allenback. I was running a topwater bait in the pond, rifled about 4 bass, nice ones. So I got my confidence. And fishing is like anything else. You lose your confidence, and it's there, especially when using artificial.
Right.
I had a great time. Up here in Michigan, Labor Day's, it's going to be the last, of course, like everybody, the last holiday of the summer. So lakes and things are packed. I talked to my brother. A lot of us, we always go up north to the cottage. His family's going to be there. My nephew's going to have about 5 or 6 friends he's 17.
Yeah.
He's a senior year and football stud. And they're all going to be up there. So it's going to be packed in that cottage.
Great. So I love that. The family thing, the get together, barbecue, fishing.
They do. It'll be out on
crazy
the road,
stories.
Family. But because the cottage is only 2-bedroom and I do have rank where I could pull rank on them, I just don't feel like it. So I'm not going to go up there on it. I'm going to hang out, do some barbecuing. I am going to go back fishing this weekend. while we still have good weather.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Good.
So
I'm glad your fishing isn't bass backwards anymore.
it isn't. And it was for a while. I actually just took about a month off where I didn't. And you just got to almost reset. And I think it's like that with a lot of things.
Yeah.
So actually excited, going to purchase a couple more different lures and that I want to try out and do. So yeah. So, and it's a long way. It's real difficult because I have fished bass tournaments before and stuff. So
here's what Cora's doing. Saturday, Kentucky Derby party at the track. So Cora, let me ask you this. As an artist, I want to see pics of the crazy hat you're going to wear. Did you build that yourself? Right. And I want to see you drinking a mint julep.
And you know what, Richard, go ahead, Mr. Greaves, put the plug in for hats right now. Richard's girlfriend, Gina, she is, I don't know what the correct term, haberdasher?
Haberdasher?
She actually makes hats. We're not talking, here's a hat, it's $10, like hundreds of dollars of custom made hats. And that time of year around Derby is unreal.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So awesome. Richard, I just did the plug for
share the link, Richard. Get Cora. I bet Cora, if you're not designing something, buy something. Support our friends.
Absolutely. So a lot of time on her pictures, it's Richard there. I'll see her every Sunday. She does a picture and she looks so elegant always, but in a cool hat and stuff like that. And Richard's the photographer.
Yeah. I mean, like Sunday church.
Yeah. Back when they did, and some people still do. And so
leopard cowboy. Okay, great.
Leopard cowboy hat. There we go.
So I am, my goal this weekend is to do some painting. So I haven't been painting in quite a while. And I'm doing I got it right here. I'm doing a new painting for my son, which is, since it's College Colors Day, I can show this.
Yeah.
It's a Florida State tomahawk
cool.
that I'm doing. And I designed this. Actually, here's the rendering I made. I print out the color thing. This is what it's going to look like.
Sure.
All designed in Photoshop, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm painting. I want to do some painting this weekend. So I'll have some coffee going. I'll have some Metallica cranked up, and I'll be painting Rage Against the Machine, Rolling Stones, that kind of stuff that gets my blood going. And I'll be painting like crazy probably tomorrow. And then I might share a picture or two. And then there's going to be some pool time. And I already bought the margarita mix. I know what I'm drinking. So anxious to get in the pool and kind of float and drink a margarita. So by the way, we might be car shopping later today. So that's
car shopping.
Yeah, my wife wants to go car shopping, so I had to block time off on my calendar because I'm like, it's nuts here.
Yeah.
Right. To actually go, and we want to go look at some cars. So
I told you last night I came home from a road trip and somehow my television in the living room is dead.
Right.
So, I've looked that up on Google. Looks like I'm gonna have to go television shopping. So I'll rehang that on the wall.
Hey, so before we go, what are you guys doing besides Kentucky Derby? You fishing, barbecuing, going to the beach?
So we probably
do they have Labor Day in Sweden? What do you guys do? Is it just going to be a normal Monday on Monday, or are you like, what's up? So give us a clue, right? And
it's a holiday weekend here. It's a long extended weekend. If you didn't pick up on that, then
it's about to me. It's about family. It's about friends.
Yeah.
It's about we've been busting our ass all year, and with this COVID crap. Okay. Yep. And I think it's just time to chill, reset. And then guess what? We got a couple months left in the year, and 2021 cannot get here soon enough. If I had a remote control with a fast forward, it would already be January the 12th. So
I love the responses we're getting.
Tractor time for Alex. Order your Tesla online. Sorry. Tesla is not the car for me.
Look at Sean.
Let me know if you're getting a Subaru. I'm an ambassador. It can get you a $500 credit. You know, we were thinking about a Subaru.
There you go.
Right. And if we choose that, I've got a list of cars I'm looking at. So, you know, and then Keith says he's installing a sign tomorrow, but relaxing afterwards for the rest of the weekend. And by the way, Keith, I know you were on 2 Regular Guys today, and I so wanted to watch, but I was trying desperately to finish a bunch of stuff today so I could take this afternoon off. So I didn't get a chance to tune in and watch, but I bet you are awesome. I'll probably tune in and watch the recording. So good job with that. So
I love. Okay, so
this is I have a farm. All day is the same.
I had no idea.
He looks like a farmer. You look like a farmer.
Well, no, I said before he looks like badass Swedish Chuck Norris.
And then Sam's barbecue and beer. That's great. Those are the best 2 combinations. You know, hey, and here's the, I know you're not a beer guy, but I am. And let me tell you, the absolute best sip of beer you'll ever have is when you're crazy hot, like you're sweating your ass off. That first sip of beer, it's the best.
And
not the rest of the beer, just the first sip of beer.
I can, as you know, I can drink beer. I don't like the taste of most of it. The ones I will drink, like I said, of course, doing car bombs there with a Guinness. I like a dark stout. I like those that are very. So
a great dark beer is Samuel Smith, which is an English beer, not Samuel Adams. It's Samuel Smith Oatmeal Stout, right? And if you drink one of those, you basically just drank a brick.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're very heavy, so I can't. But I like those flavors. Yeah. Actually, the hoppiness I don't like the taste.
Charles is at the lake.
Good job, Charles.
And then Sam just bought a Hyundai Kona.
Yeah,
I like that name. That's pretty sweet. And 2 Regular Guys is fun. If you change your mind, you get 1,000 miles free. Okay.
Cool.
I just don't like the way they look. So it's all an aesthetic for me. I'm a visual person. So especially their truck. And I'm a truck guy. So the crazy truck that they have with the is, you know, the big ball bearing smashed window thing they did. Not for me. And Modelo while grilling for the win. I like, you know what? I've been to Mexico a million times. Negro Modelo. That's a good beer. Let me tell you. With a lime in it.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic Labor Day weekend. Rep your college. Show some love to them today on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Hashtag Colors Day. I'll be sharing this video today with that. So if you see it, please like and retweet and share and comment or whatever. So anyway, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you. Be safe.
Go get those
designated driver if you're drinking. Okay.
Yep. Get busy. Get those school sales. They're out there.
Right. See ya.
Bye-bye.